If all these damn lazy avocado toast eating basement dwelling millennials would just get a little bit of gumption, they could bootstrap themselves into a pension and a house in Florida to go to in the winter like I did. Is something you've probably heard from a member of the most entitled generation on the face of the planet. But it's a strange saying, right? They use it in the context of a person being self-made, but you can't pick yourself up by your bootstraps. It defies the laws of physics. And so they keep using that word, but I don't think it means what they think it means. Or at least it didn't always. See, back in 1834, a man appropriately named Nimrod Murphy, claimed that he had invented a perpetual motion machine. And a newspaper, the Mobile Advertiser, wrote an article making fun of him, saying that Mr. Murphy had also probably discovered how to lift himself over the Cumberland River or a garden fence by his own bootstraps. And from there, for about the next century, it was used to refer to something that was impossible or ridiculous. And now it's not exactly nailed down as to when that really began to change, but it seemed to start happening around the 1920s and 30s. And it was not uncommon at the time for robber barons to use their wealth and power to spread propaganda to make them not look like the exploitative douchebags that they were. And it could be that they did something like that to rephrase the term to represent themselves as something equally impossible as somebody pulling themselves up by their bootstrap. Self-made men who deserved their hordes and hordes of wealth. But why did this meaning of the phrase catch on and become synonymous with baby boomers? I mean, it seems strange that the generation whose parents handed them everything from a booming economy to good wages to labor protections to pensions and generational wealth, who then took everything they could possibly squeeze out of the economy and society, and then voted and did everything they could to take away all those opportunities that they benefited from away from their children and grandchildren, are over here identifying as self-made bootstrappers while getting offended about how everybody else identifies. And the reason for that can be explained, or at least demonstrated, through the game of Monopoly. A psychology experiment done at the University of California, Irvine, had strangers play Monopoly against each other. However, the game was rigged. The players would flip a coin, and the winner of the coin toss started out with twice as much money and got twice as much money every time they passed go. Obviously, even if you're dumb enough to bankrupt a casino or lose hundreds of billions of dollars because your favorite form of narcissism comes in 140 characters or less, when you start off with way more money than everybody else and you keep getting way more money than everybody else, you're still probably going to win the game. Now, you'd think in this experiment, since you're playing against strangers and you know you started off with a significant advantage, you'd be sympathetic to your opponent's plight. But that wasn't the case, though, because people are douchebags, and to varying degrees, they more or less rubbed it in that they were doing better than everybody else in the game. But the most telling part about this experiment was when the players were interviewed after the game. When asked why they felt that they won the game, every single one of the players attributed their success to their skill, their expertise, their good decisions, and not a single one attributed even a little bit of their success to their luck in winning the coin toss, getting twice as much money to start and twice as much money every time around the board. And sadly, that is human nature. It's why wealthy people think that they're wealthy solely because of their hard work and personal genius, and it has absolutely nothing to do with their rich parents or the social and economic opportunities that they were afforded that most people don't get. And it's why so many boomers take personal credit for the comfortable middle-class life they were handed, while simultaneously blaming the subsequent generations for not having the opportunities and success that they took away from them. So just remember, the next time somebody uses the term bootstrapping unironically, the joke's on that Nimrod, because being self-made is as realistic as perpetual motion.